Brakathe Yahweh, Brakathe Yahweh Shai, Brakathe Yahweh, Brakathe Yahweh Shai, Brakathe Yahweh, Brakathe Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Chal Kudash. That belongs to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there. Akim to Zadakim. They do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. I'm the priest Shimon. This is going to be a late night in transit. Now, pardon me if I've been doing so much in transit videos. I did wanted to do a screen record lesson with this one, but I had two lessons that I want to do, and this one is on my mind. And I'm going to title it The Real Reason Elon Musk Bought Twitter. Now, if you ever watch South Park, and this is kind of why I wanted to do a screen recording, because I wanted to pull up the picture, though it was very hard to find it on Google. I'll probably have to go through my HBO Max account and try to find that episode with Eric Cartman. But he had a helmet. And the helmet pretty much would utter your thoughts without you speaking. And I remember saying this years ago, that's what social media is. Social media pretty much, because Esau, pursuant to the book of Genesis, the 3rd chapter, the 1st verse, is a subtle, very subtle, in fact the most subtle beast amongst all these nations. He will get his way out of people, but he'll do it in a fashion where if he wants something that people would generally oppose, he'll come up with some kind of craft to make people not only just accept it, but embrace it. And here's what social media has done. Instead of Esau saying, I want to know where you at and what you're doing, he's now encouraged people with social media and their status to tell you what they're doing, where they're at, what they're having, what they're eating, so on and so forth. And Amnawala, priest, the elder brother Amnawala, he brought this point out. This is why people started taking selfies, right? Every other minute, somebody's taking a selfie, like, if you're older, you know that camera, like you took a picture, it was done with a camcorder or a disposable camera. This idea of selfies wasn't a thing. Now, selfies is how Esau does data recognition on your face, to store data on people's face. So that's two things. Now he's able to know exactly what you're doing, where you're at, social media. They got facial recognition. Now, 2 Corinthians 2:11, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach 12:10, tells us never trust our enemies. Why would Elon Musk want Twitter? Well, it's simple. I perceive through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Elon Musk is working on, and they just released it, human trials now of brain implant chips. Brain implant chips. Human trials are pretty much on their way. And that's something that must come to pass, pursuant to the book of Revelations, the 13th chapter, the 16th verse on down. The MOTB, or the mark of the beast, is the RFID, CHIP. RFID chips, man. So, Twitter is a platform, a publisher. Really, not a platform, it's really a publisher, because they can edit, censor, just like YouTube. They can edit and censor what you say. Let's link it. They want a brain chip that's going to be tied with your Twitter account to share your thoughts on the web, the internet, and we know that every single thing, every single tweet, every single social media thing that you post is never truly deleted. It saves on a cloud. Now, this is where I think it gets even more devious, if that's not devious enough. It's fair to say that they could create technology with the chip to export your thought from one human to the next, right? Because Esau is trying to be like the angels, but he uses science and not spiritual power, because that's how the angels communicate telepathically, right? He wants you to be able to export your thoughts, just like how they showed in that South Park episode where Cartman had the helmet that was pretty much pushing out all his thoughts, and he didn't have to speak. Share your thoughts with other people on the chip network, if you will, without even saying. For example, if me and somebody was both on, I guess, friends on Twitter, or we can now exchange thoughts without even speaking, because we both would have a brain chip in our mind. It sounds like sci-fi, but a lot of prophecies are sci-fi. You know what I'm saying? It seems like science fiction that eventually becomes science fact. Because if you was to go back years ago and we was telling each other about, doing lessons on a phone that will broadcast throughout the world, it would sound like science fiction if you go back far enough. But now it's a scientific fact. So exchanging data and thoughts and communicating with each other via brainwaves with this technology, all while this is being stored on the cloud and all of it being recorded. That's devious, but here's where it gets more devious, right? And as I'm saying this to the spirit, it's safe to say, if you can export data, scientific, neurological data out of one's mind, isn't it not safe to say you can import it? Think about it like this, right? They're doing that now, right? With the television and the stuff you see on the internet. And certain times you get apps, they'll tell you, look, this app is going to be recording your information, doing this, doing that. And they solely shape ads to pretty much what you want, right? Now, in your subconscious, while you sleep, because you know how sometimes you have to check off the boxes for them to like pretty much invade your privacy, but most people nowadays don't even read those boxes. They just get the app anyways. I foresee a situation where it's going to be the same thing, where they're going to be telling you, this chip with this particular account can't import other people's information, yada yada. They're going to sugarcoat it as Esau normally does. But Esau will be importing information to those that are linked, that have their RFID microchip linked to their social media subconsciously, and pretty much total control, mind control, if you will, man, is what they would do with something like that, but a very more direct mind control, far more than the mind control that they're doing now with the television, right? Which, if you break down a television, is no different than a Urim and a Thummim. It's a medium, changing channels, flipping through different spirits, and these different particular spirits have an effect on the human mind. That's how come, it took them like a generation before they could have Jake walking around with their pants off their ass and dyeing their hair pink. It took them time, but slowly and surely they worked on the mind of these on our people, all right, to where we are now, a state of confusion, all right, complete degeneracy. As the scripture says, the way of the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth him. Meaning, Jacob is more, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the true chosen Israelites, the true chosen people of the Most High. You're more righteous than the so-called white man. You have a conscience. You show mercy. You believe in the Most High. You believe in a higher power instinctively. But the so-called white man is thwarted your mind, okay, to where you think all manners of madness, and only a third of you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are going to escape the clutch of this madness, this spell that really the Most High casted upon you, that spirit of deep sleep. Okay? But yes, this is what, through the spirit, I believe the real reason Elon Musk acquired Twitter, because you can now link that brain implant, all right, with your social media account, where you can export your thoughts to other people on the social media account. But the more devious thing is to import ideas, all right, import ideas from your social account into your mind that will be linked in your brain. You see? And I want to close with this. I believe Elon Musk is just like Mark Zuckerberg. They're a face. They're just a face you could associate with. The true people that are behind these things, you'll never see. Mark Zuckerberg made Facebook in a college basement. That's all bullshit, man. That thing is run and organized by the CIA. All right? It has way too much influence for you to just make that shit in your basement and it's a regular company. Nah, man. Those things, it's just like Bitcoin, man. It's just like these cryptocurrencies, man. It's all organized and run by the CIA. Why? So the CIA, because the CIA launders money, because they control different drug operations and such, and they launder cash. Cryptocurrency is just another way to launder cash secretively, okay, on a network. So don't think these things that you see that have major implications on society will just happen by some dude's ambition. They are backed and funded, all right, especially in an idea like this. All right, you got these devils talking about going to space. That is backed by trillionaires, man. The Rothschild families, they'll walk around right now past you wouldn't even fucking know, man. All right, because the so-called white man is very inconspicuous, man. Again, subtle, man. I look, man. I was doing a ride share the other day, and I picked up a multi-millionaire, and I dropped him to his mansion. You'd have never friggin' known, man. Esau, you'd have never known. Do that. You'd have never known, man. Saying. So just like mimicking the Most High, because the scriptures in the book of Thessalonians says he wants to be like the Most High, and what I just described is something godlike, because that's exactly how the Most High operates. The Most High pretty much tells us our thoughts while we sleep. You know, Proverbs 16:1, the heart and the preparation and the thoughts of men is from the Lord. So the Most High really pretty much dictates what we do while we sleep. So there is no free will. So-called white men want to mimic that to a T. Brain chips that could import thoughts and have your thoughts linked to a social cloud via this chip, man. So, hey, look, man, the Most High is making this devil go real far, and that's creating an immense amount of pride. You know, it's going to create so much pride in this man that he's going to be really the first nation ever to fight against the Most High directly. His son, Yahweh Shai, was a so-called Negro, the true Lord. You know? I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Hakodash. The belongs to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, true well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there. You Akim to the Dakim that do this in the most truth and sincerity. Shalom.